110.
Swimming has been a part of me for now 10 years.
Ready, top.
And I would like to keep it going and maybe use it as a career.
Very strong, no. Why not?
I want to become a writer, and if I have something about social justice, people will find out the right from wrong, and then they'll be able to do the right and not the wrong.
I'm thinking of going into medicine. My high-level subjects are bio and chemistry. So there's been a huge mind shift in my perception of sciences.
Art helps me to express myself. It's a great way of spreading awareness to an issue I highly support. I just really want to pursue something in art in the future.
I guess me having 3 children at Aga Khan says that I really value the value that Aga Khan is inputting into my children.
When the Aga Khan Academy in Mombasa, Kenya was established in 2003, it was about more than just bricks and mortar. More than the sensitive architecture that reflected the local Swahili culture and environment, and more than a school with a high level of academic standards, with a curriculum built on the International Baccalaureate, or IB. The vision behind it was much more ambitious than one standalone school. Today, there is a network of Aga Khan Academies in Hyderabad, India, Maputo, Mozambique, and Dhaka, Bangladesh.
Our central hope for the program is that when students leave the academies, they will move on to high-quality universities and then to positions of social leadership. As they go through life, we expect them to reflect the central values of the program: a strong ethical orientation, a sense of personal discipline and civic obligation, and an appreciation for diversity and pluralism.
So the question was, what kind of curriculum will we have for these kids? And what kind of teachers are we going to have to be able to develop the kind of leaders that the vision envisages?
We are the children of Aga Khan. We take the pride in the things we do.
The early years in Mombasa, I think, were really exciting. The Mombasa Academy was really a trailblazer for the rest of the network. It was the petri dish where we were able to take this audacious mission that was given to us by His Highness and think, well, what does this actually look like in practice?
So one of the big pieces of the initial development of the Academy and the establishment of the Academy is to create a center of excellence in this case, East Africa. And one of those pieces is leadership, another is stewardship, and another is ensuring that students and children of different diverse backgrounds, particularly socioeconomic backgrounds, were able to access a world-class education. It does not necessarily mean an education that is an extremely expensive education. We have a number of financial aid programs and projects that are developed to bring students of diverse socioeconomic backgrounds into the school.
The students talk really powerfully about the experience of living and working on a campus with people who are different from them, and not just accepting or tolerating that diversity, but leaning into it, embracing it, seeing the strengths that it brings to the community to have people from different backgrounds, people who think about the world in different ways.
To prepare these leaders of tomorrow, the Academy's curriculum encourages discipline, passion, and an overall development of character. Long before sunrise, students are up and running, literally. initially not something students look forward to, but they're on the right track for building resilience.
I personally face hard time waking up in the morning, but when you have a passion, it drives you towards doing what you have to do to accomplish what you have to accomplish. Every athlete has the dream of making it to the Olympics at one point in their career. So yeah, I do aspire to make that as well.
That aspiration to reach the Olympics is not just a distant dream. One Academy's alumnus has already represented Uganda in swimming at the 2016 Olympics in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. From vigorous exercise to academic rigour, the Academy demands the highest international standards from its students. To enable that, it provides the best facilities, with inquiry-based learning at the heart of its curriculum.
Students are the pilots of their learning, really, and teachers are there to support that. But what makes it powerful is that you end up with students who are independent, who are confident, and display a lot of characteristics that they'll need when they go out in the world.
I'm a person who likes to know the why behind everything. I can't be told, oh, this is just how it is. I knew that if I took higher level, I'd get all the details. I know how exactly things worked, why they worked.
The precision of scientific investigation goes hand in hand with the creative discipline of the arts. After-class activities, such as music and art, are all part of the Academy's enrichment programme. They allow creativity and individual talents to develop.
My favorite thing in art is outlining. Art class makes me creative.
The language of music and art, they say, is universal. It crosses cultural boundaries and has the potential to unite diverse populations and encourage tolerance, understanding and pluralism. The Academy's curriculum is enriched by 5 Aga Khan curricular strands, reflecting the values of the Aga Khan Development Network, or AKDN.
In Aga Khan, the 5 strands are
ethics, pluralism, culture,
governance and civil society,
and economics for development.
As this is a local school with an international curriculum, there is an emphasis on bilingual education, English and Kiswahili.
Bilingual education is not only about teaching language skills, but it's also immersing the students in the cultural context of the language and helping them understand and appreciate that cultural context. And as you do that, you're opening your mind to different perspectives, different way of thinking, and that nurtures in our students a more pluralistic disposition.
Kiswahili is the language of Kenya and everyone in Kenya should know it.
English is the local language around the world, and without English, I don't think we'd be able to communicate with each other.
From very early on, there is a strong emphasis on leadership.
The IB system is fostering and nurturing leaders of tomorrow. And what IB does is it pulls leaders out in different forms, because there's also quiet leaders. There's different forms of leaders. So it gives every child an opportunity to be a leader in their own way.
Good leadership is when someone treats everyone equally and does good things to others and doesn't separate people or favor one more than the other.
Students elect their representatives to the Student Representative Council, or SRC, each with their own idea of leadership.
You have to be able to relate to the people you serve. You have to be a figure where they can approach you and they can confide in you and trust you to be able to make sure that their voice is heard.
I really like that you can help others and that you're basically able to change the school for the better. The students are really the main thing, and they're the ones who make the change. Just know that I don't speak the change, I make the change.
When it comes to making change, teachers are not off the hook. Their change comes by way of continuing education.
Lifelong learning is for everybody. When teachers graduate, they come with a certain skill set. When they go to the world and they start teaching, that skill set is outdated because of several things. One, the way students are learning. Two, the way students are responding to information. Three, the studies which are coming out about the brain, how the brain works. So they need to keep on refreshing, being current and being responsive.
The teacher training benefits not only academy teachers, but other government schools too.
Now we have a new project whereby we are reaching out to southern Tanzania, northern Uganda and coastal Kenya.
The local communities benefit from the academy in other ways too.
So the service learning program is creating sustainable, meaningful projects with our local community. And the bottom line is creating change makers. We're trying to create change makers from the young age all the way up. We've even gotten a recognition by the IB as an outstanding service learning program. So we don't just work for the community, but rather working with the community. And that is the bottom line of what our kids do.
The closer you get together, the better it feels, the warmer your heart.
When they come here in Baraki Primary School, I like them a lot. And I like them the way they teach us and the way they give us more experiments like science, maths, and they help us so much.
And so these leaders of tomorrow, over 1,200 of them from Mombasa so far, go on to prestigious universities all over the world. And many return as leaders of today, making changes large and small to their communities.
We all are graduates of Aga Khan. We are the 0.5% of the top 1% of students in Africa, right? We are incredibly privileged to be in these positions. We go to one of the finest institutions in the world, in one of the poorest countries in the world. That irony shouldn't be lost on us. We have a responsibility to pay it forward for the next generation, for the people who come after us, to be better than we ever could be.
In Swahili, we have a saying, mwacha mila ni mtumwa, which can be directly translated to he who neglects his culture is a slave of another culture. And I'm a huge proponent of this saying in that it promotes someone to always remember where they've come from, to stay true to their roots. And for this reason, when they go out there into the real world and get the knowledge and education from there, it's important for them to remember where they came from and remember the society and people that raised them, and as such to contribute to the development of this society.